And we are live Facebook. Haven't done one of these for a little while, but it's good to be back. And yeah, on the Facebook Live. I want to talk this evening, or going into this evening, about the 6 questions to ask yourself moving into 2024. I've got some notes because I really want to go through them. And these 6 questions actually, I come across them from a lady called Nicole Silvestre. She's a brilliant coach, and they really hit a spot with me. And I wanted to share them to you guys, so you can go out there and apply them to the end of your 2023 into the start of 2024, so you can really take heed and take a look at what's been going on for yourself 2023 and what you can learn from that so you can move forward. Before we get to that, if you haven't seen already, tomorrow I am releasing a special offer, so keep your eyes peeled for that. The link I put to my email, because I switched email servers, apparently that's not available, so you can't subscribe to my email list. But don't worry, I'll be going live with the offer here anyway on Facebook and Instagram. So don't worry, I will be going live, so you don't have to subscribe to the email list to get the offer. Also, this is something that I've recently come across. This is a molecular hydrogen water bottle, the best in the world, bar none. Other water bottles don't make anywhere near the level of molecular hydrogen in their water that this one does. This is from Nuno Nina. This is actually a pre-sale version. We couldn't even talk about this until recently, and so we'll be doing a video on this as well in the up and coming week or so. For anyone looking to take their health to the next level, this is going to be another game changer at a cellular level. So there's lots of other molecular hydrogen bottles on the market, but none come close to this, and I'll go into why. That's for that. So let's get into it, people. I always like to say, before I move on to the next year, I like to take heed and take a look back at my 2023, and so I can see where I can up level, where I can make changes. And so 6 questions that I'm going to be asking myself tonight. I'm going to sit down with a pen and paper. I'm going to go through them, and I'm also just going to sit and meditate on them in silence and just see what comes up for me. I mean, I've gone through them once already, just generally, quickly, but I really want to go deeper in them. And we'll go through them, okay? 6 questions to ask yourself moving into 2024. So the first question I'm going to be asking myself, and I suggest you do too, is how did I grow in 2023? You know, what new skill or task did you learn? For me, I had some very, very deep lows in 2023, some challenges health-wise as well. And what I learned was I needed to dive deeper into the feminine energy. I've always been very masculine, I've operated on masculine energy, just push, drive. And even being a health coach and doing so many things right, I was constantly pushing forward, and it meant I wasn't in my parasympathetic enough, and it caused me to actually start to get some gut issues, which I had to really dive into and sort out. And it meant diving more into the feminine and frequency and attraction, and being the vibrational frequency that I wanted to attract. Now, I've done this before, but this is something that I dove in a lot deeper, and it's something I've been working on ever since. I also dove a lot deeper into detoxification. I've been looking into detoxification for the last 15 years, but I was like, we're in a different world now, so what more do I have to learn? And I started to discover even more fascinating protocols and practices, and I'm sharing all of these in all of my containers this year. So my one-to-one coaching, the Total Health Revival course, I'll be updating that, the membership, and in the masterclasses. So I want you to ask yourself, like, how did you grow? You know, what challenges did you come up against? Did you give up coffee and stimulants? Did you make sure you got enough sleep? Did you prioritize your health? Did you prioritize being in nature? Did you tap into your masculine more, your feminine more? Did you start to understand yourself at a deeper level? And this is something I want you to start to write down. And you start to see, well, actually I grew here and I grew here, and that's what I learned about myself. And that's the question number 2 actually, which is, what did you learn about yourself? So number 1 is, how did you grow? And, you know, challenges you come up against, things you start implementing in your life. And number 2 is, what did you learn about yourself? Now, there's treasure in this one, because it gives you the opportunity to really start to understand yourself and your patterns. Because so often we are just operating from our subconscious, like 90-95% of what we do is just patterns, it's repeated. And to change things, we have to be very, very conscious about them. So when it comes to this, look at patterns you run. You know, maybe painful times that you went through, and what did you learn about yourself? Maybe good times, what did you learn about yourself? You know, when you were in these painful times, how did you act? Did you go into scarcity? Did you contract? Or did you start saying, oh no, the universe has got my back. I believe that we'll come out of this. And when you had good times, did you just throw caution to the wind? You know, or did you say, no, I'll keep a level head here. We'll carry on doing what we've been doing. So write all this stuff down, and you can celebrate the good things and look into the things where you could improve upon. Because sometimes we learn about ourselves. It's like, it's easy to be good when everything's going well, but when things start to be a challenge, that's when you learn what's really beneath yourself. You know, they talk about if I was walking down the street and I had a cup of coffee and someone bumped into me, you know, what will come out of that cup? It would be coffee. And it's like, well, if I'm walking down the street emotionally, mentally, and something bumps into me, or I get challenges, what comes out of me? And it's whatever's in me. So if it's anger, frustration, pain, whatever it is, feelings of not enoughness, that's what comes out. So these are the things you can learn about yourself at a deeper level. And this is stuff that I've had to dive into a hell of a lot myself as well. Because when we're calm and when we're all balanced, it's fine. But when things start getting bumpy, are you just going to run your old patterns, or are you going to be conscious about what you're doing and start to move through them? So that's number 2. What did you learn about yourself? Number 3, what needs to be released so I can make way for the good to come in my life? So here it's like, how can I have my heart fully open to receive what the universe actually has in store for me? You know, it could be things like, I need to stop eating too late before bed, or I need to stop overeating. I need to, you know, stop having a pastry with my herbal tea in the morning. I need to change my bed because it's meaning that I'm not getting a good night's sleep. I need to stop drinking alcohol or wine at night, or smoking weed. I need to get out of that toxic relationship. You know, there's things that you know that you need to do, and that your higher self, the best version of yourself, knows that you need to release. But sometimes our ego, or just old patterns, or feeling like, oh, well, if I let that go, will I get anything else, stops us from doing that. But things can't come into your life unless you let them go. There's so many relationships I've had to let go over the last few years. Just let them go and release them. And a lot of the time, it meant doing a lot of forgiveness work. It was very hard. I've had a lot of things that people I've been friends with for 18 years. But they're just not going on the same path that I am. They're not travelling on that same journey, that same trajectory. So, you know, sometimes, and even though I did have some anger about this and some resentment, it was one of those things I knew that I had to let go of that anger, that frustration, that resentment, to let other things come in. Because as I'd seen, once I'd let those relationships go, or once they weren't in my life, I had so many good relationships come into my life, like the universe was making way. And as you go through your life, you will up level. Your friendship group will up level. You'll have some that people will come with you and some that won't. And like, you'll have some practices and protocols that will come with you and some that won't. And you'll find what works well for you, and you're upgrading different bits of your life. So, you know, you just need to be open to releasing all the things that are stopping you from getting to the next level. And, you know, holding on to things like anger and frustration just shrinks your energy and keeps you very contracted, keeps your energy low. And so by confronting these things face on, you know, releasing negative energy, resentment, blame, you just don't want to carry these things into the new year. And so you might not even feel like you're ready to forgive of other people, and even yourself. Sometimes it will be yourself that you have to forgive for doing things that you know weren't right for you, but you just push through them anyway, or you enter a relationship you knew that you shouldn't, or you've been, you know, doing things health-wise that aren't good for you, just from old patterns. And you have to learn to forgive yourself, because unless you do that, you're never going to allow the space for new stuff to come in. And so, and when you do this, when you actually forgive and just let these things go, you're going to actually see a change in you at a cellular level. It's crazy. When you let these negative energies go and you allow for good to come through, you're going to see that change at a cellular level. You won't be able to see it, but your body will notice it. You know, I've been there as well. And so if it's a relationship you want to let go, or a friendship, you don't have to like ring them or speak to them or even get closure with them. You can just let that go and just start to come at things from a different perspective and just say, okay, you know, that's done in my life. Time to move on. And you know, I can't wait to see what the universe has got in store for me, or God's got in store for me. It's challenging, but it's necessary. And then we're going to number 4. So number 4 is, what priorities are you going to have for 2024? What values and goals are you going to have? Well, you can actually have a lot of goals, but what are your main priorities? Because if you've got priorities in place, it'll stop you from chasing the next shiny thing. When like you're on a path one way, but you see something else, you're like, oh, maybe I'll go over here. It'll stop you doing that, and it'll allow you to say no to things that, you know, are not going to be of any benefit for you in the long term. And then it'll also get you to come back, you know, to seeing what lights you up, what is your actual priorities. So, you know, well, one of the things you can say, like, what are your priorities for 2024? It's like, who do you want to be as a person? What man or woman do you want to be? And you're never going to make a permanent or long-lasting change unless you change your identity around how you see yourself. So, you know, you can even say that I'm going to become, my priorities are to become a person that, you know, invests in themselves, who's resourceful, who goes to bed on time, who surrounds themselves with positive people, who goes after their goals, who really starts to play it big, you know. So it's, who are you going to be? What are your standards? What patterns are you going to break? And what patterns are you actually going to start putting into your life? Because once you start to recognize that, you know, making new patterns is actually challenging, because the brain just wants to do things that are easy. The brain just wants, it's what it does. It wants to do anything it can on autopilot. So for you to change that, you've actually got to be conscious. When something happens, oh, what am I doing that for? Or you start to act in a certain way, oh. Or you say things to people and you're like, why did I say that? Is that an old pattern? Am I trying to like, is that egotistical what I've said there? Or, I don't know, it could be your morning routine, whatever it is, breaking out, just getting up in the morning and having a coffee, you know. You just want to break that routine. Why am I doing that? Is that a habit? And it's easy to go into these patterns because, as I said before, the brain is lazy. It just wants to do it as much as it can on autopilot. So once you actually work out your priorities and who you want to be, and you're conscious with this, and you know, go out there and be confident with this, be like, this is who I want to be, this is what I'm going to do. Start to be very, very conscious with it, and you know, you can even write out your priorities, stick them somewhere you're going to see every day. This is the person I want to be. The Stoics talk about this a lot as well. It's like having goals is one thing, but it's like, oh, okay, in 2004, I want to be someone who's always centered and always calm. It doesn't matter what the sea's doing, you know, or what way the wind's blowing. I'm the mountain. I'm going to stay strong. I'm going to stay sturdy. And for someone who's been around people all his life who fly off the handle, that's something that I'm really trying to, not trying, it's what I'm doing. I've changed a lot. It takes a lot more now for me to fly off the handle, for me to lose it. But, you know, it's still there under the surface. But that's something where I'm like, no, what is that doing for me? It's getting me nowhere. Staying calm, being centered, that's, you know, true strength. And so, what are your priorities in 2024? Okay, that's number 4. Then, number 5 is, what seeds will you plant for your future? You know, because everything you do adds up. You know, whether it's positive or negative, it all just starts compounding. And so what you do today is going to be your future harvest. Okay, so the actions you take, the investments you make, the people you surround yourself with, you know, what's the cost? What's the future cost of the decisions you're making now? You know, it's also the things you don't do, or the courses you don't take, or the coaching you don't invest in, or the investments you don't make, or the sleep you miss, or the conversations you didn't have, or the chances you didn't go for. You know, that guy or that girl you didn't go and approach because you, like, even though you find them attractive. You know, what are the cost of your future actions, and what they're going to cost you. So, you know, good actions compound, and so the negative actions. So where do you want to be? Do you want the new job? Do you want a new career, relationship, whatever it is? It might be scary to do that stuff, and you might even have to do things that others criticize, you know, but that's okay, because it's not their life, it's yours, you know. Things don't happen overnight, it takes time. And every time you make a positive decision, you're actually telling the universe you're ready to be that person you were meant to be. You know, when I started doing this coaching, I had zero audience, zero platform. I put videos out, I put articles out, no one commented, no one liked them. But through years of just consistent behaviour, you know, and I have a platform and an awesome audience full of humans that all want to improve their life and their health. And that was the result of consistently planting seeds. It was the same when I was getting back to my own health. You know, I ate really well and took certain supplements and did certain practices like once a day, or I did it one day. No, it was things I did consistently that allowed me to get my health back and continue to be healthy. So think about, what seeds are you going to plant moving into 2024? And there was one more. Oh, I think I actually covered that, which was who will you be in 2024? I actually missed that one out. So your priorities, and it was who will you be. I sort of merged them all into one. So, you know, go back through them. The 6 questions to ask yourself are: how did I grow in 2023? What did I learn about myself in 2023? What needs to be released so I can make way for the good to come? What are your priorities? Who will you be in 2024? And what seeds are you going to plant for your future? You know, go away and answer these tonight or tomorrow as you head into the new year, the first of the year. Before anyone says anything, I know we're actually meant to have 13 months, 28 days in each month, but you know, we're starting here. And yeah, go and answer these for yourself and really sit with them and see what comes up for you. And be very intentional with it. Take your time. Don't rush through this. And you'll actually start to understand yourself at a deeper level and start to see maybe where things aren't aligning and where you're not actually having actions in alignment with who you want to be. Because your higher self knows what you want to be and what the actions you got to do. It's just our old patterns that we get into. And it's easy to make the decision that our subconscious just wants to go with. It takes brain power and energy to make that conscious choice. So hope that helped, guys, okay? And if you feel, you know, pulled to do some deeper work, get to know me better, then one of the things I want to say is I invite you, invite me into your world this year, then it will be an honour and a privilege to work with anyone, one-to-one, etc. Because I'm super excited about coaching this year and being in service to people. It's a big energy year, expansive year, and I can feel big things are going to be happening for Revive, and we've got lots of good stuff coming out. So super excited about that. And as I said, keep your eyes peeled for the offer tomorrow morning. Go and have a great New Year's Eve. Lots of love, and let's have a strong start to 2024. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.